fully closed. That means you have no edges for any dirt, secretion, whatever. You cannot sample. Integrated encoder function to the user interface, and that makes life much easier. Yeah. Display with the alarm giver on top. On the gas supply driven systems, you have here in the corners also LEDs, because the ventilator continues and can also point out alarms if the display is detached, yeah, from the cable, or is defective, has a shutdown, whatever. The system continues the ventilation and is then working from this alarm givers. The performance doesn't change. The mode is programmed here inside, the settings are programmed, the observations are programmed to the unit. At that stage, this is only a display. Okay. I will one time also switch off the system. Then we can start it up completely new. We have underneath the display itself has integrated 2 USB slots for downloads, log files, yeah, for screenshots what you can take under operation conditions. You can take in the service, in the configuration, in the standby, in the running operation, always screenshots. They are in a PDF format to the USB flash. You can remove, copy to your patient data. Simple solution, easy to handle. Okay, on the back of the unit we have multiple ports to configure multiple functions what we have there. We have several sensor technologies integrated. We are coming new with the SpO2 measurement. We are now new with the side stream CO2 measurement. We have since a longer time a mainstream CO2 measurement, what is also volumetric capnometry directly, for analyzing that space under ventilation conditions. Then we have in addition a multi-gas analyzer integrated that you also can support Anaconda or other anesthesia reflector systems. In addition, we have also Massimo side stream and mainstream measurement integrated. We can support a nurse call. We can support combination with NO for patients after heart operation, yeah, to increase the flow over the capillaries on the lung, to widen the vesicular system. This NO has a sharing communication with ECU. ECU is a product for NO application, and it gets from our system the flow information, so you don't need the very, very expensive flow measurement from the NO system. Yeah? You're saving a lot of money on that stage. Secondary, the advantage, what nobody else is talking about, I think I'm the only one. I've done research on that, and the problem is that all the flow measurements from these NO application systems have a higher resistance by the flow meter, and that is with a +4 on the actual setting in PEEP, +4, and that is not easy to compensate, and that is also not easy for the patient. That doesn't make sense. Therefore, we have decided that we will also do an integration to our system. Yeah. The multiple ports also supports communication to patient data management systems, to Philips directly with the configuration, and we have there also a communication to an ICU protocol with Sandman. because we are participating in the study about COVID-19. It's a European study, therefore we have there also a direct protocol to support the study in a proper way. Yeah? Okay. Then we have on the back the connection for the display, the connections for the gas supply, power supply, and that has an integrated locking mechanism. Additionally, we have here backup batteries integrated, hot swappable. That means I can remove this metal plate and then I can see here the battery is on slot 2, I take it to 1, so there I can insert a second battery, and as long as I have charged up batteries in the pocket, I can run the ventilator from batteries. The batteries covers up each one 1.5 to 2 hours.
Да, да.
Okay. On the front, and therefore I switch on. On the front we have our patient modules, and they are all removable and they are all disinfectable and sterilizable. The flow measurement has normally lifetime of the system. That means minimum 8 years. Ah, that are good news. To understand, we have here also a guiding help to assemble the system. That means the flow module is the first one, and it shows where are the parts which are removed for cleaning, that you can prepare and that you can ventilate afterwards. The expiration and at least the inspiration. For what reason we have the inspiration removable? Because this is third norm requirement. Yeah. It means at least that it has to be possible that all parts which can come into patient contact are sterilizable and removable. Yeah? I remember the times when I was working on the high infection unit in Germany. There was always the problem, I had an Ebola patient on a ventilator, and afterwards I have given the ventilator into the oven for burning. Okay, it's not nice, but was necessary, yeah? Otherwise you kill the next patient. So therefore, good. Nowadays we have this solution, and we are the first company following that norm. You don't need a filter protection here. The system can run without filter for the inspiratory port, but that you save also money. How to remove? I'm removing the tubes, and I push this button at the side, and then the flow module comes out. Then we can remove by pushing this metal. And can you push? Can you push? Okay, here we are, and there also. That are all the parts, yeah? And all of them have lifetime of the system. To understand, we have integrated into our inspiratory module, okay, thank you, an emergency air free breathing valve. The patient can inspire, if there's no gas from the system, can inspire over here and expire over this pop-off valve. This is a mushroom valve and has a resistance, a PEEP of 2, and there you can freely breathe out. Yeah? So also under these circumstances, this infection what the patient maybe has can never run upside, There's no reverse flow, as this is decoupled into this emergency safety valve, and by that we don't have problems like other companies. The flow measurement, what we are using, if you look inside, you can see there's a mesh inside. We have here 2 ports, and by that we are doing a differential pressure measurement. And we have upgraded the performance into a level that we can also detect finest tidal volumes. Smallest tidal volume in volume controlled ventilations or volume controlled pressure regulated is 10 ml. In pressure controlled ventilation I can measure 1.2 milliliters accurately. In addition, we have here the outlet of the system with a 22 millimeter that we can connect also a filter system for the anesthesia gases, that you don't get the pollution from the anaconda. Or you have an infected patient. Yeah? Okay. On the side here we have a stopper for the system test. Then we have here the cuff scout connection to inflate automatically the balloon, always higher than the actual ventilation pressure, that you don't get micro aspirations. Then we have integrated piezo measurement for supporting piezo catheter. You know about that?
Transpulmonary.
Yes, transpulmonary pressure detection. And we are momentarily the only company also detecting with the piezo technology what we are using, the spontaneous work of breath of a patient. Yeah, nobody else momentarily can do that. Besides, we have also here connection for pneumatic nebulizer. On the back of the unit we have also serial data output for mesh nebulizer. We have an own mesh nebulizer what has a drop size to 3 microns, so highest level in nebulization, and we can do synchronization from the ventilator, that you are also saving the drugs what you want to supply. Okay. Then we have here from the trolley clearly that you can drive with the system. We have also attachment to a bed that we can hook it on a bed, and you can drive with the complete system related to the bed. The system can be also removed. Yeah, here's a locking. Then you can unscrew, take it to a pendant. You can detach the display with a cable up to 3 meters distance, or if there's a fixed wall mounting up to 15 meters.
Сделать, наверное, можно?
We have also several different holders that we can have this more narrow here to that positioning, yeah. If you have to save space a bit or something like that, multiple functions are possible there. Also possible, this is a connector on the back, is called a VESA, international norm, that you can then...
Обычное крепление. Как телевизор. Да, можно. Да-да.
You like practicability. No, it's really nice design on that thing. Integrated rails, yeah, to the sides that you can hook also a module or something else. Attachment of a humidifier. This is our preferred humidifier. There we have also a weaning programming in the humidifier, that this doesn't produce too much humidity. Beside this humidifier is directly with the programming for neonates to support our Leoni Plus that you have also in HFO no rain out. We are the only company with a full solution on that in highest performance. That is, haha. Okay, sugar for the honey. The next neonatal ventilator is coming soon, and there we have a bidirectional connection between humidifier and the Leoni Plus 4. That is the name. Okay, I'm proud about it. Okay, as you can see, we are also working with the color coding, yeah, to ease the assembling. I remember the situations in emergency room, someone was running with a ventilator inside and tried to attach the tubes, and afterwards no ventilation possible, yeah. Therefore, we have taken the color coding on, makes life easier. Okay. We have here directly selection patient group. Momentary is only configured adult and pediatrics, but we can also from the configuration screen configure neonates. Actually on the Elisa 600 this is also configured, yeah? Then you have a third symbol here. Okay. Because there you have a restriction, a limitation in the availability modes and different setting range. The battery is here. You also can, not in this screen, sorry for. You can touch on here, then you get the battery charging. If the power supply is removed, it shows the expected running time that will shown here, 1 hour 54 minutes, and in relation, it's changing, it's adapting, yeah. It's measuring the capacity.
2 минуты в секунду.
The watts. Yes, it's dropping each second one less. No. But in relation to the selection of ventilation pressures, frequency, the system is adapting the running time. That takes approximately 2 minutes to see, okay, we have here 1 minute, 1 hour and 50 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Come on. You can open that, then you get a checklist to each alarm what we have inside. I will show it during operation again because there are some more interesting informations like that. Okay. Good. When we select here new patient, let's do first this. Sorry. What's that? That is cuff pressure measurement in standby. If your patient is on a different unit and patient is mobilized outside in the chair, you can continue with the cuff pressure measurement. You don't have to connect another unit. Yeah. Okay. Same patient, new patient selection, confirm. And now we can do a profiling for that patient. That means we are in an analyzing sequence for the first minute. I'm adjusting the height of the patient. The system has inside an automatic calculation for lung protective ventilation.
Ideal.
The ideal setting is calculated from the height of the patient. We are using 6 milliliters per kilogram body weight, and the system then automatically is moving in.
Protective ventilation.
Yes. Simple. Yep. So as long as we have information, we can do things like that. Then we have a profiling for oxygen too low. Patient is a bit blue in the face. Saturation is low. Under that circumstances, the system starts always with 100%, is increasing the PEEP to 8, 5 is the standard setting, and is doing in the first minute also the analyzing of the RC, the compliance, the resistance, and the expiratory time to optimize the ventilation and automatically setting the alarms. Okay, CO2, you get a higher frequency, yeah? PEEP is the same, oxygen is 50%. These settings will be settable with the next software version, that you can also say, we want always to start with this parameter constellation. Momentarily this is not configurable, but with this function you cover up 90% of the cases. In the center we have the standard. When we select this, start ventilation, the system is analyzing, but not using the profile CO2 high or low. It's using standard settings. As you can see, we directly get an alarming here. For example, this. When I touch to the alarming, the system opens the required tidal volume, the required alarm limit. Focused on that, I can change directly on the encoder to a new setting. And then the alarming goes off. Now we are here with the yellow color coding. That is, oxygen low. Sorry. That's ventilation, 50%. I only have air connected, therefore it alarms. Okay, again, I push the other side of the alarm limit. We are near to the alarm. Tidal volume is 480 and therefore it was changing the color, focusing on the point, and I don't have any acoustical alarm, but I see it before it comes into the alarm limit. That means I can optimize my workflow on the ICU. I can see that the upper limit is maybe crossed. I can see if this is not enough tidal volume. If this is coming near to the lower limit, you get the yellow color coding, this side or that side. And by that you know from far away, okay, this patient may have problem with the secretion in the lung. We have to suck it in the next 2 minutes. Yeah? And then you can run inside a bit later, CPR on the other bed, whatever. Yep. Okay. This is always the home button that you come back into the normal ventilation view. What we also can do, for example, there are relevance in the room. That is mostly stress for the relevance when they see there are curves and maybe the patient is shivering and then you see it's not nice. Therefore, we have this view. Shows the most important parameters in addition to the major parameters. They are not configurable. They can be configured. You only have to touch on. And then you can say, okay, I want to have there. No, we take something what is not so usual in use. We take the TPP inside on this position. Now we have configured that we have here the TPP. Yep. Mm-hmm. So by that you can adapt to your protocol, to all the things what you want to observe, and you see there crystal clear the ventilation of the patient. What does it mean? If the patient becomes spontaneous, the diaphragm becomes blue. If this is a controlled breath, it stays white, but you see the inspiration. There's the inspiration, and then the expiration.
Нет. Он наоборот, он должен реагировать на низкие давления.
I don't have taken into progress. It's not on.
Okay.
Okay. Shows dynamic compliance and the expiratory resistance. Okay. Configurable. If you want to get rid from that, it's also something where you cannot use the slide function. Yeah. When we touch the home button, we come back, and then we have also the slide function to show multiple parameters in measurement, to show mixed up, also configurable, also the graph is configurable. Yeah. We can add, for example, the esophageal pressure to the pressure curve. We can have there the cuff scout line inside. So overall, we can at the same time display 3 graphs
Standard.
plus each time a second one. So 6 graphs in one glance is possible. Loops you can touch on. You can say I want to have the flow to pressure loop. Close. Now we have the flow to pressure loop. Simple to handle. Also color change. You can also say not filled graphs if you want that. Yeah. You can set the trigger signal off if this is needed. Mostly it should be on, I would say, but it was a request from somewhere in the world. I don't know. There we have, for example, PO1 measurement, frequency spontaneous, tidal volume spontaneous. This is our reading screen with the trending for the CO2 combined, minute volume in trending, and rapid shallow breathing index in trending. Also configurable in the X. This here, as soon as we have spontaneous breathing, the system also is counting and showing and coloring. It is a weaning screen directly, yeah. And you see 2 is not enough. Rapid shallow breathing index in the range. Now we are in the range, everything is green. If PO1 is activated, let's have a check. Maneuvers. No, it's in weaning. Sorry. PO1, we can take that to auto PO1. And by that, the system improves now all 60 minutes the PO1 automatically. Yeah. That was also a wish from my side, due to the fact that I have worked with patients which are not totally stupid in mind, and when you come to the room and you work out the PO1, they see it, and then they have the restriction, they have the stop of the inspiration, and next time when they come inside they are pre-warned. Yeah? Then everything in calculation becomes ineffective. Therefore, automation of that, it runs now all this and takes it also into account to the trending. Trending. What we do there, we have a summarize. What does it mean? We have here the complete documentation. We also can configure that. If you don't want to have alarms inside, you can take them out. There we have the parameters. We can sort out which parameters we want to have displayed. And when we are scrolling, you can see that the system is then changing also the at that time used parameters, and it is running with the cursor all over and shows the graphs what you also can configure. Here's minute volume expiratory. We can say we want to have that not with minute volume, we want to have there the frequency. The system then takes this and what do we take here? Intrinsic peep. And there.
Frequency.
frequency. Yeah, that was previous. Now we have configured. I can refresh. And now the system shows the last results in that direction. Yeah. And by that you also can follow up the protocol and you see directly the related parameters and you see the trending curve. And that is in one glance all the information what you need. Yeah. To give a proper information about that patient can be weaned, yes or no. Makes life easier. Okay. Back to our ventilation. We are here with tools and functionalities what are fully configurable. We have here, for example, the Anaconda that we can select. This opens the related menu and shows we are, by the way, we are the only company with the registration and with the related norm to use the ventilator together with Anaconda. Yeah. So whatever you have done with all the other companies, that was one leg in the present. So therefore, we tried to take care. Okay. Then we have here other functionalities like an automatic suction routine, selecting directly in functions, ASR. So you have a direct approach into the function by the pictograms. The example automatic suction routine is quite nice. We can select the flush, what we want to use for the pre and post oxygenation. We can select here closed system or open system, so disconnection from the endotracheal tube for suctioning. In this case, when we have system open and we run that, let me reduce that a bit, it will always alarm now because we have no oxygen. We confirm pre-oxygenation, the system now starts. As soon as there's a disconnection, the flow is stopping. The system alarms now all 15 seconds that you are disconnected from the patient, a reminder. Yeah. And as soon there's the reconnection, the system operates again with 78% in flushing the patient, post-oxygenating the patient. If you want to interrupt that, you stop it. Simple. Okay, then we have here emergency oxygenation, a direct flush function to increase to 100%. Yeah. In addition, we have also this function, manual breath, start. One, two,
Ручное дыхание.
three. You can do it like handbagging. You can increase very fast the concentration on patient side, and you can also do that. Inspiration hold is also part of that. Confirm. Take off the functionality, you push again on start, and then you're out.
It's hold inspiration.
Yes, it's doing that also. Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as you push, you get the inspiration hold to the maximum inspiration hold what is programmed. This is the official tool for inspiration hold. And we have there two maneuvers what we can work out. We have flow active off, we have flow